Okay, I think it's time to start with our webinar. Good morning, good evening from Beijing, and good morning and good afternoon to colleagues and friends in the Americas, African, and Europe. I'm Yan Xiali.
Recording in progress.
By far has indicated that we are continuing losing forest at the rate of 10 million hectares every year. Over 80 million hectares of primary forests have disappeared since 1990. Human activities, especially agriculture expansion, continues to be the main drivers of deforestation, forest fragmentation, and loss of forest biodiversity. Global actions are urgently needed than ever before to prevent, halt, and reverse the degradation of ecosystems, to build the resilience of our system to climate change. Asian and Latin American. And the result has been inspiring. Soil quality improves, biodiversity recovers, and crucial ecosystem services are restored. Bamboo is both agricultural and forest crop. With the right species and in the right locations, bamboo plantations can provide locally and globally significant valuable ecosystem services. Particularly, bamboos have multiple purpose species that provide wood, energy, fiber, food, feed and fodder, and can penetrate into diverse markets, thereby raising the off-farm income and resilience of smallholders. To celebrate and contribute to the upcoming World Environmental Day and the launch of UNDECADE, our ecosystem restoration, today's webinar will provide an overview of various ecosystem services values that provided from bamboo forest and how to integrate bamboo in landscape restoration and the results and the lessons learned from the cases studied. Today, we have 3 presentations by our distinguished panelists. Then we will have an interaction section for questions. My colleague, Mr. Tan Chong Long, will facilitate the Q&A part. During the presentations, if you have any questions or comments, please write down in the chat box. We will select and deliver the questions to our panelists. Due to the time limit, we apologize, we may not answer all the questions. Now I'm honored to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Mahu Madgowda, the director of ICON India Institute of Soil and Water Conservation. Dr. Manhu is experienced scientist in the field of soil and water conservation. Within 27 years of service at the India Institute of Soil and Water Conservation, he contributed significantly towards the development of soil water conservation measures, crop management practices, improves the microsite condition for rehabilitation of watersheds, preparation of soil erosion maps, and also participatory integrated watershed management. He has published more than 200 publications. Due to some urgent matters, Dr. Manhu cannot present personally today. However, he kindly provided a recording of his presentation. His topic is bamboo for restoration of degraded lands. And his colleague, Dr. Rajesh Harsha, will join us for the discussion. Now let's welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Today I'm talking. Do you listen to me?
Yeah, we are able to listen.
How about my sound? Is okay?
Yeah, your sound is okay. Kiran,
yes, very well. Please.
Okay, good. Thank you. Today I talk about ecosystem service from bamboo forest. I just present here reflection from global assessment. It is very happy to talk in the webinar on integration of bamboo in landscape restoration on the occasion of launch of event Decade of Ecosystem Restoration. I welcome all of you my presentation. Today I talk mainly in the 5 points. Basically, I focus ecosystem service from bamboo forest in relation to other forest type and land use. To elaborate this relation, I use 4 case study, and I conclude my talk with some take-home messages. Everyone, you know, bamboo is one of the fast-growing plant in the world and considered as an important non-timber forest product. Bamboo are the old most traded anti-FE. They have become central to emerging economy around the globe. It is an integral part of the forestry in tropic and subtropical region of Asia, Africa, and Americas. It also widely spread outside of forest, basically in farmland, a riverbank, some roadsides, some marginal land, and now urban landscape. Bamboo in general, it covers 35 million hectares of land at the basin data of 2020, which were almost 24 million in 1990. Bamboo now is an important component of rural farming system, and it's play a critical role in rural economy, helping to sustain the livelihood of rural people in the most of the developing country. Bamboo forests also contribute significantly to sustainable development and combating climate change. However, the statistics shows that ecosystem assessment are often poor, inconsistent, sometimes is based on the different definitions and assumption in different countries. Methodology is also different, as well tool and common approach are also missing. The INBAR has launched the global assessment of bamboo and rattan for green development, with aims to maximize bamboo and rattan's contribution to sustainable economic development and environmental protection. Under this bigger project, I conducted one study that aims to prepare a synthesis report and a policy brief in order to advocate and raise awareness on the importance of ecosystem service from bamboo forest and its application in ecosystem management and its application in restoration. I also focus to maintain the ecosystem approach in decision making by providing the recommendation for suitable policies. I use ecosystem different literature review in global context for assessment of ecosystem service from bamboo forest, and I substantiate some case study is a cross-continent case studies for qualitative assessment. I use for that expert opinion, community perception, using this certain framework we developed earlier in 4 different countries. I focus main component of my presentation, the ecosystem service provided by bamboo forest. Bamboo forests provide various ecosystem service that generate socio-cultural, economic, and ecological goods and service from local to global stakeholder, everywhere from villager to the industrial country. This ecosystem service we categorize four different groups based on TIP framework: food, forest, timber, raw material, bioenergy, medical resource, fresh water are come under the provisioning service. These are the key one that we can say many others. Similarly, landscape restoration, sediment retention, flood landslide control, carbon sequestration, carbon stocking, local air quality and climate regulation, groundwater recharge, water purification, moderation of extreme event, and support in human health and therapy are considered regulating type of services that bamboo forests provide. Similarly, habitat provision and maintenance of biological diversity come under the habitat services. Similarly, landscape beauty, recreation, ecotourism, and cultural and social religious value categorized under the cultural services. Is other forest type provide ecosystem service. Bamboo also equally and provide better ecosystem service than other forest type and other land types. The second in this row, I just would like to share the comparison of ecosystem service from bamboo forest with other forest type and land use type, basically with natural forest, degraded forest, planted forest, grassland, and agriculture land. In overall, bamboo forest provide higher level of ecosystem service in compared to other land use, other forest type, especially landscape restoration, sediment retention, carbon sequestration, flood landslide control. Some bamboo has some cultural religious value, has a higher level of ecosystem service provided by bamboo in compared to other land use. Then you can see this L means low, H means high. It's generally 2 categories I represent here. You can see the figure. The bamboo forest is high means bamboo forest provide higher amount of ecosystem service than these 5 other land use type. Low L means lower level of ecosystem service of bamboo forest than indicated 5 forest and land use types. The one important thing is natural and planted forests supply only the higher amount of construction materials like a timber amount than in compared to bamboo forest. This whole thing is based on the bamboo literature and other literature related to ecosystem services. Then I move to case studies. Most of the case study, in summary, I can say that most of case studies demonstrate the bamboo forest supplying important ecosystem service that are useful and utilizing by local to global benefit users. My first case study is from Nepal. There's one of the lowland flat plain of Nepal. This Ganganagar. Basically, I compare the ecosystem service from bamboo forest with natural forest. And the second one is mixed plantation. The plantation is with Sisong, Sorea robusta, and some Pinus species. I just want to introduce about Nepal. Nepal has a very small amount of bamboo forests of 63,000. Out of that, 60% bamboo found in natural forest. However, bamboo plantation on private land are common for raw material and soil conservation purpose since the history. It is kind of clumps everywhere in the rural area. In the case study site, the village was completely inundated in 2010 due to flooding of Rui River and washed away river bank, causing significant property damage. The tons of silt and sand was deposited in the agricultural land, and land became unproductive. To resolve this problem and control the village from the flood, local community came together and planted 10,000 bamboo. They asked their support from different NGO and government. And after the plantation and conservation, after 5 to 7 years, the beautiful bamboo forest was established and become instrumental for flood, landslide control and sediment retention in the village. As the result, bamboo forests are supplying higher level of flood and landslide control, sediment retention, protection of extreme event. Just the drought, maybe also the bamboo is planted in the side of the village, so wild animals also protected to come inside the village. A religious value, the bamboo provided food and raw material more than natural forest and mixed plantation. Natural forest and mixed plantation also, we took example of nearby natural forest and the nearby mixed plantation. This shows that the bamboo is important for landscape restoration. The second case study is for Indonesia, is Mount Batur from Bali, Indonesia. Here also, I compare bamboo forest with planted forest. This is a single species planted forest. Particularly in Indonesia, bamboo forest is 2.1 million hectare, 2% of total forest area. There are some 135 bamboo species are naturally spread in 30 provinces throughout the country. Within the case study site, bamboo forest extend over 6,000 hectare of land out of 11,500 hectare of forest area. Bamboo planted there traditionally for home furniture, construction, handicraft, and food, but now bamboo is being planted and protected for to conserve the water sources for Bali city. The research here shows that the bamboo forests have a higher potential of supplying almost all of ecosystem service in compared to planted forest, except raw material. The planted forest provided higher amount of raw material in terms of timber volume. Third one is Ethiopia. This we took northern Ethiopia, the Selemti area. Here we compare bamboo forest ecosystem service from bamboo forest with woodland forest and mixed planted forest. Particularly, if I talk about Ethiopia, bamboo forest cover 1 million hectare, is 8.2% of total forest area. There are major two bamboo species, highland bamboo and savanna bamboo. Savanna bamboo is also called lowland bamboo. In the study area, bamboo forest has disappeared due to deforestation and forest degradation for agriculture expansion and demand of fuel wood and the timber in the village. Before 90, the bamboo forest, bamboo clumps, that's everything almost disappeared from the village. With the view of that, local community came together in 1990 and planted savanna bamboo within the agroforestry system for landscape restoration, fulfill of the fodder and raw material, also for the conserving the water resources. The bamboo in this case study, also the bamboo forests are supplying higher level of ecosystem services such as flood and landslide control, protection from extreme event, then water regulation is important component, and food and raw material supply to local community, then woodland and planted forest. This here also planted forests supply higher amount of wood material. And also particularly here, that they feel that carbon sequestration also higher by the planted forest than in the bamboo forest. This is difference than other case study. My last case study is from Peru. We selected two case study. One, the left figure is Moyobamba region. We compare their natural bamboo forest with natural forest and agriculture crop. The right one is Villarrica region, is a reserve area. We compare ecosystem service from planted bamboo forest. This first one is natural bamboo forest. This is a planted bamboo forest with natural forest and agriculture land. It is also interesting that bamboo forest in both cases have a higher potential of supplying almost all ecosystem service in comparison to the other forest and agriculture land. You can see from the figure. Figure looks a little bit dim. The bamboo provides higher amount of regulating service, particularly such as landscape restoration, landslides, flood control, carbon sequestration. That's different than Africa. Fresh water provide, habitat provision, like in China, and landscape beautiness. This Peru, the bamboo is also considered for landscape beauty. The interesting things here, the total economic value of ecosystem service in planted bamboo is important things, is more than double than in natural bamboo. See, very big difference. Planted bamboo, maybe they have a different management system, so that they have a higher ecosystem value. They almost 1900, but in the other side is almost 900. So natural bamboo is planted bamboo is much more better in terms of overall ecosystem service value than the natural bamboo. Finally, I come into the final slide. I just come to conclusion with some take-home messages. What can we learn from the bamboo and ecosystem service study? That's main. I just bring the 5 important point here. The first one is bamboo forests provide variety of ecosystem service with local and global benefit. Not only the local benefit, bamboo forests provide carbon sequestration. It has a global benefit. Biodiversity is provide habitat services. It is a global benefit that comparable with the other forest. It's important. It is comparable. It is not. It is important as other forest types. Bamboo is considered alternative to forestry globally. This provide domestic or industrial raw material more cheaply in compared to other forest type. Then why not go with bamboo? It is important reason to plant bamboo. Bamboo forests are instrumental in flood control, landslide control, sedimentation retention, protection of extreme event. This has also religious value, food and raw material supply to the people than other forests. The bamboo can, so that we can say that bamboo can be a vital tool, vital species for landscape restoration. Expanding bamboo plantation is the cheapest way of reversing land degradation, and it also is appropriate for meeting global restoration goal. It is compared to other measure of landscape restoration, planting bamboo through community approach, through the local community. Everyone, each household, they can plant the bamboo within their home garden, their marginal land that contribute to the landscape degradation, that contribute to landscape restoration. This is important for global restoration goals by 2030 and some other goals. This by 2050, 2030 and 2050. So restoration of agricultural land, restoration of forest, water, everything. Bamboo is a best options available. However, the research study need to be conducted. More research need to be conducted for assessment of bamboo forest, and also its roles in supplying ecosystem services, including role of landscape restoration and productivity. Thus, thank you. This is my presentation. I took a little more time, and I would like to welcome your comment and suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Karen Powell, for your excellent presentations. And we learned lots of the information from your presentation. Bamboo is the ideal plant and can provide the significant and comparable ecosystem services, especially for the light land control, flood control, the soil erosion control, and also can regulate the water and also the carbon sequestration, biodiversity. So it's fantastic. Thank you very much for Dr. Karen. And now I would like to invite Mr. Huang Shiping, the Deputy Director of Chishui Forest Bureau, Guizhou Province of China. He's a member of the party group and the secondary chief of the Chishui Forest Bureau as well. With a background of economic forestry, Mr. Huang has more than 26 years of working experience on forest and landscape management, rural development, and poverty alleviation. He's also the key expert and practitioner for implementation of the conversion of cropland into forest program in Chishui. In recognition of his outstanding contribution in ecosystems restoration, he was awarded the National Greening Model by the National Greening Committee in 2013, and also get the China Forestry Industry Outstanding Contribution Award by the National Forestry Administration and the National Committee of Agriculture, Forestry, Water Conservation, and meteorologic and the Meteorologic Union of China in 2016 for his important contribution to promote green development, supply side structural reform of forestry, and poverty alleviation for the farmers.
Recording in progress.
Mr. Huang will share a case study of the ecosystem restoration program with bamboo in Chishui, Guizhou. Mr. Huang, now floor is yours.
Distinguished guests, friends, good evening. I'm Huang Shiping from Chishui Forestry Bureau. I would like to thank INBAR for your kind invitation for this virtual conference. It was my great pleasure to introduce you the situation of conversion of cropland to bamboo forest in Chishui. I want to share with you from the project background, effectiveness, and the enlightenment. I look forward to your valuable suggestions. The first is context and background of cropland conversion project. The first one is the need for ecological environment management. Chishui is located in the transition zone from Yunnan Guizhou Plateau to Sichuan Basin with high elevation, steep terrain, ravines, Danxia landform, vulnerable to erosion, frequent disasters. The data show that in 2000, the area of saltwater erosion in the city 877,000 mu, accounting for 32.5% of the total land area, of which 307 mu of cultivated land was eroded, accounting for 35%. In the area of soil water erosion, 395,000 mu, or 44%, was above moderate level of erosion. This is the background. The second is the need for economic and social development. Chishui is inconvenient transportation, lack of information, and the economic aggregate is very small and weak market conditions. So these are the prominent problems to control soil erosion, build a good ecological environment, improve the production is the urgent desire from the society. In 1998, after the flood disaster, the central government of China launched the natural forest protection projects in the upper reaches and the middle reaches of Yangtze and Yellow River. Same year, the natural forest protection project was launched in Guizhou with the logging ban of natural forests. So how to protect this green homeland? In the meantime, for the people's livelihood, this is a challenge by the municipal government. Why we select bamboo as the major species for cropland conversion project? 3 reasons. The first is a suitable climate conditions. Chishui belongs to the humid monsoon subtropical climate zone. Annual average temperature is around 18.1 degrees Celsius, frost-free period 340 days, annual rainfall 1,292 millimeter, and the relative humidity is 80%. Soil in the region is mainly low acid, purple soil, and acid soil in nature, very fertile for growth of bamboo forest. Secondly, in Chishui, we have the long history in cultivation of bamboos. You know, bamboo was evolved from Qing Dynasty by Mr. Li Tai. And from the Qing Dynasty, we have species of mossel bamboo, ficus, barrens, pine, the forest. The bamboo took root and germinated in Chishui. The people in Chishui have been learning the cultivation method and the management of a bamboo forest. They have mastered a set of mature planting and management experience and form a habit of planting, protecting, and also using bamboo for cuisines. At the same time, bamboo seedlings needed for afforestation can be obtained locally, so which is very conducive to large-scale promotion of this conversion program. Thirdly is its high cost effectiveness. Bamboo grow very fast with rapid benefit returns, environmental friendly harvesting methods. It also has a strong soil water retention capacity. Combined ecological and economic benefits is very much aligned to the purpose of natural forest protection projects. Therefore, bamboo stands out in the selection of tree species for land conversion program. Secondly, I want to talk about the specific practices we made in Chishui. In 2000, we launched the land conversion program. The following year, Chishui was listed as one of the pilot counties. Since 2001 to date, the city has implemented nearly 600,000 mu of land conversion program, benefiting more than 50,000 households and 180,000 rural people, cashing out 580 million yuan of subsidies for foresters. The city bamboo forest increased from 532,000 mu to 1.238 million mu. And the forest cover increased from 63% in 2000 to 82.5% last year. Tons of other bamboo species. And also more than 60,000 tons of bamboo shoots. So with such a large amount of bamboo forest being planted, it equals to 600,000 cubic meters of carbon sequestration similarly. And it also established a green shelter belt for Chishui. We also adhere to 3 persistency. The first, ecological should be the prioritized target. Chishui, once determined to develop our city into an ecological one, we were very persistent in making large-scale bamboo forest establishments. We seized the opportunities of the national policy of land conversion program, issued a series of policies and measures such as opinions on accelerating the development of bamboo industry, and also opinions on promoting the development of bamboo recycling economy, Chishui City Bamboo Industry Development Plan, and changing the land conversion programs. And secondly, by our perseverance years, we established a leading group for development of the bamboo industry, and we had a two-pronged approach. On one hand, we have administrative support. On the other hand, we have technical support. For the administrative support, mainly is the township government responsibilities, but for the survey, inventory, planning, and design, it's the technical institutions' responsibility. So we have a very clear rights, responsibilities, and benefits clarification. Thirdly is we take full account of ecological benefits of bamboo and in terms of soil fixation, and we crack down those illegal activities such as destruction of bamboo resources, and handled 183 such illegal cases. And in Chishui, we leverage bamboo trees to boost the whole industry. We use bamboo in the primary, secondary, and tertiary industries. One is to rely on the bamboo resources to develop under forest farming. For example, dendrobium nobile and blackbone chicken bamboo. And we have become the national level demonstration base for under forest economy. Secondly, we use the bamboo to develop our industries, focusing on the pulp and the paper and the furniture park construction. We promote the green food, bamboo furniture, and we focus on the bamboo paper, bamboo food, the bamboo building materials. Those are the three master cards. We also have more than 400 bamboo processing enterprises, out of which 2 are national level leading enterprises, 11 provincial level companies, and we have 6 series of more than 300 varieties of products with nearly 30 indigenous IP rights and patents. Thirdly is we develop the tourism based on the bamboo forest. We tap into the bamboo forest, establish 158 scenery spot and 348 scenery spots. We developed 622 hotels, 150 farmhouses, recreation sites, and more than 130 bamboo craft stores. We also promote a bamboo panda banquet cuisine. And we combine the healthcare industry with the bamboo food industry. Although impacted by the pandemic in 2020, we still received 13.7 million visitors last year.
The green bamboo not only brings huge industrial development to Chishui, but also brings important economic and social benefits. First, bamboo can enrich our people, focusing on the economic benefits of cutting bamboo and selling bamboo shoots to increase income, vigorously supported the leading companies and leading brands to bring farmers better income so that the mountain of bamboo can become a green bank for the people. The per capita bamboo forest area is 7.4 hectares, direct income of 720 million yuan only by selling bamboo raw materials and bamboo shoots. Per capita income reached more than 4,000 yuan per year, helping more than 8,000 households and nearly 30,000 poor people to be lifted out of poverty. And the second is to build strong bamboo villages, vigorously develop the resources so that it can be converted into funds, build forestry industries, setting up 66 bamboo industries, professional cooperatives, promoting intensive cooperation of bamboo raw material basis, comprehensively eliminating weak villages below 100,000 yuan, total collective economy exceeded 100 million yuan out of organization, industrialization, market-oriented, rich people. And thirdly, the bamboo has not only brought huge industrial development, but also brought important economic social benefits, and try to build the spirit of perseverance, courage, and the spirit of perseverance and breakthrough. And we have Yang Changqing, a 90-year-old National People's Congress deputy, and brought the bamboo weaving culture to Chishui to the first session of the NPC, demonstrating to the people of China the win-win situation of bamboo returning piece of grain, enriching the people. Finally, I want to talk about our experience. So our conversion of cropland to forestry program in Chishui achieved the goal of retreating, stabilizing, enriching, and formed a virtuous circle of economic development with managed resources, well-sold products, and forests being visited. The main experiences are threefold. First, selecting the right industry according to local conditions. We are not doing this blindly, and we don't try to follow the trend without considering local situations. We pay attention to local suitable environment. So basically, we need to make sure that it's fully aligned with the local socio-economic development strategies. And Chishui has a special climatology. It is very good for the breeding and the growing of bamboo. And also we have the ecological targets for the city. We also have supportive policies. And also we have national support for returning cropland back into bamboo forests. And also we are using these new policies to subsidize the farmers without being too much worried of returning the cropland into bamboo forest. And also we relying on the flagship companies and encouraging the people to fully participate. From the starting point to the taking off of the industry, we have been working really hard to convert the resources into economic benefits and returns, making sure that industries can make a breakthrough development. And we are building 1 million mu of forests with 10 billion yuan of industrial income. We have a strong conviction to make the industry grow larger and bigger, just like the bamboo growing up and above. And we have been working really hard for the last 20 years, constantly promoting the transformation of low-yield bamboo forest and the cultivation of productive bamboo forest, increasing the area of bamboo forest from 532,000 mu to 1.238 million mu. The output value of the bamboo industry from 1 billion yuan to nearly 10 billion yuan today, forming ecological industry with the mountains of bamboo as the base color, becoming the greenest and the most beautiful place in Guizhou. And based on the long term to do the whole industry, industry without increasing income of people and profit of enterprises, without any outcomes and social benefits, is not a high quality industry.
Recording stopped.
The history has proven that we are able to nurture the use of the resources, making comprehensive utilization of the resources, combining the market with the forest farmers and the capital sources, making sure that we can achieve a multi-win situation. And all the population, especially the poverty-stricken population, can develop their livelihood with integration of the primary, secondary, and tertiary industries. The overall comprehensive strength of the companies has been greatly improved. The environment is getting better. The governments, the masses, and enterprises are building solidarity, reaching consensus on the harmonization for further combat against the poverty. That's all from me. Thank you.
Economic developments there, and also help to generate the income and job opportunities to the farmers there. Thank you very much for Mr. Huang. It's a great presentation. And now we are trying to back to our first presentation. Sorry for the previous technical problems. Now we are delivering Dr. Mao Hu's presentation. Please, our technical staff, please play.
A very good evening to all the participants. Today I am going to speak on the topic bamboos for restoration of degraded lands, and I'll be talking particularly in Indian context. My dear friends, earlier Dr. M. Madhu, who is director of our institute, was to speak on this topic. However, the responsibility has been given to me. So I hope I'll be able to do justice with this topic. We are ICR, Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation. We are located in the Himalayan foothills in Dehradun. We have pan-India presence and working in 8 different centers in different agroclimatic regions of the country. We are working with the vision of conservation and management of soil and water resources of the country. Our mission is mainly to develop sustainable technologies for controlling land degradation and enhancing productivity. We are also center for training in research methodologies and updated technology for soil and water conservation and watershed management. As we know that land degradation is a major problem worldwide, which is affecting 2/3 countries of the world, 1/3 of the earth's surface, and 1/6 of the world population. If we talk of India, about 120 million hectare area is affected by different types of degradation. And out of this, 79% is accounted by water and wind erosion. About 20% of the degradation is caused by chemical and 1% by the physical degradation. The revised soil erosion budget further revealed that gross erosion rate of the country is 15.6 ton per hectare per year, which is seriously affecting river basins and reservoirs of the country. Now coming to bamboo. Bamboos are the fastest growing plants in the world. Globally, there are about 1600 bamboo species covering 30 million hectare area. About 2 billion people are dependent on bamboo, and the international trade of bamboo is to the tune of $2 billion US. In India, there are 125 bamboo species under 23 genera, which covers 15.6 million hectare area, which is the largest in the world. We have 38% of the total bamboo forest area. However, the productivity of Indian bamboo is very low. In terms of demand and supply, we are only able to cater our 50 to 55% demand. Further, majority of our bamboos are on public land, unlike China and Japan, where majority bamboos are on the private lands. Recognizing this, Government of India recently has allocated huge budget to promote bamboo sector. The laws have also been amended to make it more farmer friendly. There are many important features of bamboos that make them ideal choice for rehabilitation of degraded lands. Its fast growth rate, annual carbon production, and ability to improve soil properties help in meeting many sustainable development goals. Bamboos also contribute in meeting many national and international goals like Bonn Challenge and Paris Agreement, to which INBAR. Despite of huge benefits, the adoption of bamboo in the country is not very encouraging, which is mainly attributed to lack of data on different bamboo species. Keeping above in view, Indian Institute of Soil and Water Conservation initiated research in collaboration with INBAR and State Forest Department. So far, the results have been very encouraging, which I'll be sharing with you in the next slides. Bamboos, due to large and evergreen canopy, intercept the rainfall more efficiently and helps in preventing soil erosion. Our research trials reveal that interception losses in different bamboo species range from 23 to 34%, with average value of 27%, which is much higher as compared to any broadleaf or conifer tree species. Our results have further shown that species like Dendrocalamus hamiltoni and Bambusa nutans, they are more effective in checking interception losses and ultimately contributing to checking soil erosion. Not only canopy, but litter in bamboo also plays a major role in checking land degradation. Our study revealed that litter fall in different bamboo species range from 8 to 12 megagram per hectare per year, which is much higher as compared to the tree species. Further, slow decomposition rate of litter in bamboo due to high silica contents make the organic matter and nutrient into the soil. Large canopy and efficient root system was found most effective in preventing runoff and soil loss. In Bambusa balcua and Dendrocalamus hamiltoni, there was about 50% reduction in soil loss. Now, bamboos, due to their fast growth rate, they are very effective in sequestering carbon from the atmosphere. Now, if you compare it with the tree, the carbon accumulation is 7 to 30% higher as compared to the tree, and it can release 35% more oxygen. An estimate put that one bamboo plant can absorb 6,000 liters of sewage water every year, and that it can clean 400 kg of carbon dioxide every year. In addition, it can release 320 kg of oxygen every year. Then the below ground part of the bamboo, that is rhizome system, they can hold a higher ratio of carbon, 31 to 43% higher as compared to the most of the tree species, which can be considered as very effective carbon sink. The mean carbon storage and sequestration rate in bamboo, it ranges from 13 to 24 ton per hectare per year. However, as the bamboo is harvested in a short rotation of 4 to 5 years, therefore the planning should be made to convert it into some durable product so that carbon can be stored for a longer period of time. Soil health improvement. Bamboos, due to addition of organic matter through leaf litter, dead branches, culm sheaths, fine roots and other related biological processes, helps in improvement of soil health, which is evident in terms of improvement in soil physical, chemical and biological properties. Our study in 6-year and 12-year-old plantation in 7 different bamboo species revealed that all the soil physical properties, they improved both under 6-year and 12-year-old plantation as compared to the fellow plots. The roots and litter on decomposition, they helps in secreting organic acids that help in binding the soil particle, which helps in increasing the aggregate stability and mean weight diameter, which is directly related to the soil erosion. Roots also create macropores by pushing the soil when grow or by creating the channel when dies. It helps in improving the permeability and hydraulic conductivity, which can lead to more groundwater recharge. Now, high silica rich litter on decomposition add organic matter and nutrients to the soil, which helps in improving soil chemical properties. However, these improvements are usually recorded on long-term basis, as evident from the present study, where not much improvement were recorded under 6-year-old plantation under 7 different bamboo species. Observed that due to high potassium requirement, bamboo should be given additional potash if commercial crop has to be taken. So this is one of the case study which we conducted in the Himalayan foothills for the restoration of degraded lands using soil moisture conservation measure, that is trenching. So this study was conducted from the year 2012 to 2020, and this was done on this site which was totally invaded by the lantana camera, which is considered as one of the most invasive species in the Himalayan foothills. And 2 species, that is Dendrocalamus strictus and Dendrocalamus hamiltoni, they were grown in this area using 3 different type of trenches, that is rectangular trenches, semicircular trenches and V-shaped trenches. And it was observed that when the bamboos, they were grown in conjunction with the soil water conservation measure, their survival and establishment, it was improved. The growth, the culm weight, it was increased by 38%, and the soil moisture, It also improved, and more improvement was observed under Dendrocalamus hamiltoni, where it was about 45%, and under Dendrocalamus strictus the improvement was nearly about 25%. And the soil erosion, which in 2012 it was 22 megagram per hectare per year, and after 5 years no soil loss was observed under both these species. Further, it was seen that particularly under Dendrocalamus hamiltoni, there was 97% reduction in the lantana biomass after 5 years as compared to the nearby fallow lands. Now you can see this from the figure also, that as under both the species the lantana was reduced, but more reduction was observed under Dendrocalamus hamiltoni. So this technology has been successfully evaluated and demonstrated and has proven successful for enhancing productivity and conserving the resources on degraded sloping lands. Now from North India, I'll take you to the western part of the country, where gullies and ravine formation are major problem caused by soil erosion. And it is mainly due to the major river system, that is Yamuna River, Mahi River and Chambal River. In India, about 1.04 million hectare area is under ravine area, and cultivation of bamboo can be very effective for checking the land degradation in these areas. For this, Institute has developed a number of bamboo-based technologies which can be used for treatment of gully lands throughout the country. Now these are bamboo-based live vegetative check dams, and they have been found very useful, particularly for the stabilization of the small gullies. They are very low cost in nature, and they have been successfully evaluated in the ravine region of western part of the country. And usually while making the check dam, 2 rows of bamboos are grown at a close spacing of 2 into 2 meters in a staggered manner, and the distance between the 2 check dam, it is usually kept at 10 to 15 meters. And these check dams have been found very effective in absorbing more than 80% of the rainfall, and the runoff reduction and soil loss reduction has been achieved to a greater extent. Further, the benefit cost ratio of these check dams have been worked out to be 2, thereby making it profitable. And particularly in the area where low moisture is there, Dendrocalamus strictus and bamboo subbamboo species, they are recommended. And the area where the bamboo plantation is difficult to establish, then offsets are considered as better choice for establishment of these live check dams. In high rainfall area, easy to root species like Bambusa vulgaris and Dendrocalamus hamiltoni can also be used as poles for making the check dam. Now this is bamboo-based silviculture system, and this technology has been developed for the rehabilitation of ravine areas which are affected by the water erosion. This technology mainly involves growing of sanguinous grass on the side slopes which are prone to soil erosion, and in the gully beds usually Dendrocalamus strictus species, it is grown in a staggered manner. And during the initial stages, when the bamboo plants they are young, at that time these interspaces they can be utilized for growing sanguinous grass. And about 7 tons per hectare per year of green grass yield is obtained from the stabilized gully slopes, and during the initial year about 10 tons per hectare per year grass yield can be taken from the gully bed portion. And this system can yield 1,000 bamboo poles after 7 years, and it has the capacity to absorb more than 80% of the rainfall. And the results further have revealed that the soil loss in this system is reduced to less than 1 ton per hectare per year from about 20 ton per hectare per year. And if you see the benefit cost ratio of the system, it is about 2.09, thereby indicating its profitability. And this technology has been successfully demonstrated in the degraded ravine lands in the western part of the country. Bamboo-based brushwood check dams. Now these are small temporary barriers which are constructed across the gully in order to limit the erosion. They can be either single row or it can be double row, and usually the bamboo poles which are easy to roots, generally they are used for making these structures, and then these poles, they are kept about 60 centimeter apart. They are inserted into the soil by digging the soil, and the poles, and they are tied with the interlinked material which are usually made from bamboo, or otherwise any shrub species can also be used as a interlinked material. And these structures, they have been found very effective in reducing the soil loss to as high as 54%, and they also help in retention of the silt, which also helps in improving the soil moisture regime. And the research conducted in Dehradun, it has revealed that species like Bambusa vulgaris and Dendrocalamus hamiltoni, which are easy to root, they can make a very good brushwood check dam, which are of permanent nature in the long term. Bamboo plantations supported by check dams. Now these bamboo plantations, they mainly aims for stabilizing the large gullies. And in this series of earthen check dams, they are constructed based on slope and runoff generated. And the earthen check dams, they are usually made from plastic cement bags. And then 3 rows of 3 bags are kept at the bottom, and 2 in the middle and 1 at the top. And on the top portion of these bags, soil is filled, and the soil is also filled on the sides. And on this soil, generally grass is grown to make it more or less a permanent kind of strip. And in between these dams, bamboo plantation, usually at 4 into 4 meter, is planted. And after some time, this acts as a very good check dam for checking the runoff and soil erosion. And this system is capable of providing 3,000 poles per hectare with a net return of $1,233, and the benefit cost ratio is 1.96, again indicating its profitability. Hydrological behavior of all the 3 structures reveal that bamboo with earthen plug are most effective in checking runoff and soil loss. However, when cost factor is taken into account, bamboo as live check dam are more effective in checking the runoff and soil loss. Then coming to important issues. So first one is lack of awareness. Now, despite of huge potential of bamboo in land degradation, it has not been able to find the desired place in the land restoration program in the country. And this is mainly attributed to the lack of scientific data and evidences. Therefore, there is an urgent need to develop database on the restoration potential of important bamboo species. There is also an immediate need for the capacity building of the stakeholders. Then second is the development of bamboo-based models. Now, there is an immediate need to develop and standardize bamboo-based models based on appropriate species, spacing, and management practices, which so far is in the lacking state. Then is utilization of degraded lands for bamboo plantations. Bamboo, due to large evergreen canopy, competes with agriculture crops and are not best choice for the arable land. Appropriate degraded lands therefore should be made available, whether under purview of revenue or forest department through lease to the interested farmers. There is also an urgent need to identify the hotspots for plantation of bamboo using new scientific tools and techniques. Then one of the important is payment for ecosystem services. So based on scientific data, it is established that bamboos in watershed provides many ecosystem services for which there is no incentives for the growers. Therefore, there is an immediate need to develop policy for providing direct incentives to the stakeholders who are involved in the bamboo plantation program. Then next is assessment of strength and life of the bamboo structures. So R&D efforts have led to the development of bamboo-based soil water conservation structures. These structures, however, need to be evaluated in terms of strength and life cycle in different agroclimatic zones, which so far is in lacking state. And lack of quality planting material. This is one of the very serious issue which restricts the adoption of bamboo-based models. For example, in India, Dendrocalamus strictus cover major chunk of area due to lack of availability of other species. Therefore, there is an immediate need to initiate program so that supply of other species can also be met out. Then is dissemination of bamboo-based restoration technologies. With extensive R&D efforts, few bamboo-based technologies have been developed by many institutes. These technologies, however, need to be disseminated to the different end users, for which collaboration is required between different agencies. So to conclude, we can say that land degradation is one of the major problems worldwide and need to be addressed at top priority. And bamboo is ideal choice for land restoration due to its characteristic features. If we go for the choice of the species, then Dendrocalamus strictus and Bambusa bamboos can be the suitable choice for the areas with low rainfall. Further, it is recommended that in moisture deficit area or semi-arid areas, trenching can be used for enhancing bamboo productivity, then improving soil moisture regime and checking soil erosion. Then bamboo-based structures and silvipasture system can be cost-effective solution for gully bed stabilization. Species such as Dendrocalamus hamiltoni and Bambusa vulgaris can be comparatively better choice for meeting both soil conservation and production needs. And last but not the least, there is an urgent need to develop database and extend the bamboo-based knowledge and technologies to the stakeholders so that their potential can be fully utilized. So my sincere thanks to INBAR, IFAD, European Union and Uttarakhand State Forest Department for funding the research. The technical support rendered by INBAR and the entire team is duly acknowledged. And last but not the least, I am highly thankful to all of you for your patience listening and sparing your valuable time. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for this comprehensive presentation. Now we have already delivered all the presentation now. Thanks again to our speakers. Now I would like to invite my colleagues, Tong Long, to facilitate the question and answers.
Okay, thank you, Jansia. Good evening, everyone. Maybe good morning and good afternoon somewhere else. Thank you very much for three speakers who give us very good presentation, so excellent presentation. And also thank you for participants who attending this section today. So far, we have several questions for panelists, but we will not have much time to answer all the questions. So we will only give some selected questions to the speaker. The first question is, this one is given to both two scientists, that is to the Dr. Kiran and Dr. Kauso. This question is, we are in the situation that ecosystem degradation occurs rapidly. Climate change severely affects many communities in different places. Restoration of ecosystem is urgently needed. However, restoration needs to be careful approach in order to address environmental concern, social, economic requirement, as well as climate change issues. We have heard that so many great values of bamboo for ecosystem services. And what the question is, what do you think? Why is bamboo could make different from other species, which the other species will not help as good as bamboo? The first question, can either both Dr. Kauso or Dr. Kiran, could you please?
Okay. Should I or please, sir?
Okay. Thank you, Long, for these questions. Very interesting question. We talk about bamboo ecosystem services. One in other way that why I review is a global and particular case of India and China. They all focusing the ecosystem service. This is a different perspective what we need to learn about and understand and show the importance, and so the opportunity to see the lens of ecosystem service for the benefit of local community. Yes, we discussed a number of ecosystem service. That's particularly focusing the landscape restorations, and we link this restoration with the economic production and support to the community. So the bamboo, as we can't leave people, we can't focus only the protection without giving benefit to the people. If you go other options like forest, it takes maybe 10, 20, 50 years, or maybe at least 1 decade to get benefit. And the soil conserving and soil binding capacity of tree, if we compare, bamboo is much more better. We can see the very detailed scientific study from India, and also some many other researches that. So it's one thing, this we need restoration. It is an era of restoration. It's like in Nepal, there's a huge Shivalik mountain is so degraded, maybe erosion prone, and that place, the people, maybe 5 million people living in that area. In that case, then they need livelihood support. Also, they need some landscape restoration and protection of soil from being eroded. So in that case, the bamboo in 1 or maybe 3 to 5 years, it can produce enough economic benefits in different way. It provides indirect economic benefit. It's like regulating services. And when we cut the tree, you can see the number of photographs from the presentation. If you cut the tree, the root also roots also have a binding property. So in the simultaneously, we can take a benefit, and at the same time, the bamboo is useful for the holding water, percolating rainwater to the groundwater recharge. So that this bamboo has a multi-dimensional impact. It's a short rotation. Within a year, it can grow maybe 20, 30 meters. So we should go to the bamboo instead of timber, because the same case we can go. What do you consider planting bamboo? I guess not only we have to include people, rural areas with a marginal land, maybe their own farmhouse, or maybe some area, including river system, eroded areas. So better everywhere we can plant timber, but need to bring people in this program. So participatory approach would be the better way, and for the plantation. Our important things is type of bamboo species, which is important for our purpose. Need to identify. Sometimes is only for protection, maybe is not good for furniture or some other kind of benefit. So selection of species and planting technique, and maybe is important for the bamboo plantation.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I just left for the Rajesh.
Okay, Dr. Rajat, do you have any more clarification or additional comment for that?
So,
maximum 2 minutes, please.
Dear Long, many thank you for providing me the opportunity to be part of this panel. And of course, Dr. Kiran, he has made my things much easier now. He has said many things. So just I like to add two, three things more. First of all, when we talk of the bamboo, both the above ground portion and the below ground portion, they help in restoration. But when we say bamboo, so in general, we are saying bamboo only. We are forgetting about the species. So far, what the research we have done, we have seen that there are a number of species in bamboo, and each species they are having their own role to perform. For example, when we are talking of the dry area, then we cannot go for the species producing high biomass. But unfortunately, what is happening now? Just any species is being recommended to the for the restoration. For example, I have seen in many of the studies, even Balkua and Brentsai, they are being promoted for the restoration. Now, this is the one of the major problem actually. So the research what we have done, suppose now the farmer, if he's growing bamboo on a degraded land and he is adding water to this, so it means we are just wasting our precious resources of water, and again it is a kind of degradation. So such a kind of degradation we need to stop. If it has to be restoration, then it has to be true restoration. So species should be chosen very, very carefully. And one more thing, when we are choosing the any kind of species, so we need to focus on what will be the impact on environmental security, and second is on livelihood security. So both these things are also be taken into account. So that's only I want to add in addition to Dr. Kiran.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kauso. There are two scientists of that opinion. I would like to have also the next question is come to Mr. Huang Shipping. Is practical who already gave a presentation how they conduct the land restoration in Chishui. The first question is, why was bamboo selected for ecosystem restoration in Chishui? Very difficult to make a decision on bamboo, to select a bamboo as species for ecosystem restoration or not? And what kind of criteria do you use any criteria for species selection? For example, environmental aspects, social, economical aspects to use for it. Thank you.
好了，谢谢主持人。我们赤水的
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In my Chishui city, in my presentation, I made a brief mentioning of our choice. In Chishui, we embarked on the journey of returning cropland into bamboo forest, partly due to its climatology. In Chishui County, we had enough precipitation, certain soil conditions, or local climatology, which are extremely suitable for the growth of bamboo. And secondly, we had a long history of breeding and planting bamboo. 200 years ago, in Chishui County, we already had our local genera and the local species. And the local residents, they have been working on plantation for many, many years. They have a whole set of skill sets to manage bamboo forests. And in their day-to-day life, they already plant and they cut it to convert into certain projects, and they actually use it as a food source. And if we plan to build big factories, we would have enough local labor to work in those factories. A third element is very realistic, because the bamboo, we think, is a perfect combination of ecological benefits and economic benefits. It is growing very fast, as you eloquently put. You grow it for a couple of years, and you're cutting it down in a very sustainable, environment-friendly fashion, and it's easily to be converted in all kinds of handicrafts and other types of products. And also, it is very strong in maintaining the local soil and retain the sedimentation. Every year with this project, we can save several dozen thousand tons of sands being discharged into the water bodies. And also, it is a great carbon sink, can sequestrate carbon, which is fully aligned with China's carbon emission peaking and the carbon neutrality targets by 2030 and 2060. So while protecting the environment, our local forest farmers, they can improve their income. So we consider the above mentioned three factors. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Huang. And then following, we see that the land restoration is so successful in the Chishui. What do you think, what was the key factors lead to the successful restoration projects in Chishui?
In Chishui County, the local people, I think they have a long tradition of what I call treating their croplands as the main source of their income and livelihood. So they really cherish the lands. In the early days of returning cropland into bamboo forest, people were a little bit concerned because you are forcing them to, or encourage them to change their farming into planting forests. Many people were very hesitant. They were not sure. In 2002, in Chishui County, we basically landed a big factory, a paper making factory using bamboo pulp. And our people knew that if they're growing bamboo forests and they harvest the bamboo, there will be no problem of getting a big company buying from them. So they were very certain about their future. And also in China, we do provide national fiscal subsidies for any farmers who enter this project, and they can get cash payment for returning cropland into bamboo forests. And so in the early days, yet we had to give a lot of subsidies. But once people saw their income going up, livelihood getting better, people are actually asking us to allow them to return more cropland into bamboo forests. Local governments also provided a matching fund from its fiscal revenue to subsidize the early conversion of the cropland. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wang. It's very clear. So, there are a number of questions for you from sending by the participant from other channel, but I would like to give some other question to other panelists first. They have a question here. Is INBAR member states have already made a commitment that they will restore 6 million hectares of degraded land with bamboo. Through your research study, and today we see that there also a lot can be could be some challenge for land restoration, a lot of work there. What would you recommend or advise this country when they use the bamboo for restoration? What approach would you recommend them?
So talking to whom all?
Yeah, to the two scientists.
Okay.
You have already conducted research.
Let Rajesh, you start first.
Okay. Actually, number one, the most important thing, significant thing, I already have told you, that is the selection of the species. That is the major important thing. Okay. And because when we are working on a degraded land, we cannot expect a more production, because any plant, it has to take the resources from the land. And if our land is having the limited resources, we cannot see a good production from this. So because now we are in a land restoration, our main aim is to provide the greenery. So first is all, we have to restore any kind of green cover, and slowly, if bamboo is coming up, and maybe we have seen here also, after 10-15 years, then bamboo will ultimately itself, it will start producing the things. So that is one of the major approaches, selection of the species. That is the most important thing whenever we are going for any kind of restoration program. And that itself, it is going to improve, take care of everything, whether it is soil quality, whether it is productivity. If right species is there, it can do miracles. And then second thing, I have seen many where, because when we are working with the degraded land, yes, some kind of biofertilizer and these things, if it can be added, then it can give a very good result. And earlier it has been seen in India also in many of the research studies. So that is 2-3 things which are main important thing. Yes, when we are working for the restoration of degraded land, I have seen somewhere they are working with the degradation system and all. It should not be there actually. If we are using one resource and putting it other ways, that I consider as a degradation, that is not the restoration. So that approach has to be followed. Okay. Yeah, Dr. Kiran, please.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh. Yeah, normally we talk much more in question 1. The answer are the most of things of question 2. That Rajesh is rightly point out that the species selection based on the community need. Our main focus is the restoration, but in the B side, the product of restoration, we should consider the economic benefit to the community people, because in our case, the people living in the degraded land is a land is a very precise here because due to the population, high population, the people are still living in the degraded area. So we are restoring degraded area where people are living. The people's livelihood is basically depend on that degraded land. So our strategy, our approach should be targeted in two ways. The degradation, this restoration, but in the simultaneously, the restoration should benefit the people. They provide some economic incentive, just like we are talking about ecosystem service. They directly economic goods like bamboo as a timber, furniture, something they can immediately use. But in the restorations, this harvesting could be limited, and that time kind of they conserve the biodiversity, they conserve the water. The water goes to the people living in the distance, not on the people living within the locality. If the water recharge in Nepalese mountain, the Nepalese lowland and India also Indian people can get those water resources. In that case, people should be compensated. If I am planted 10 hectares of bamboo, I will not get the benefit of water, but the people living maybe 10-20 kilometer far of me, they can get groundwater water from groundwater recharge system. In that time, main approach strategy, the community who involved in restoration, they should be compensated one way or other way. Different economic instrument like livelihood support, maybe cash payment, or maybe we can support in development efforts like school teaching, their hospital free, something like that. This should be the approach to be implemented or maybe adopted in the people like our regions. There are a lot of poor people living with the degraded land. Some high rich people live in the city. They don't need any subsidy or something livelihood support. But we are talking the degradation means we are dealing with the poor people, and that time this is important things. The species for them. So that's I support Rajesh thinks is that in that case selection of species that are suitable for their livelihood, also suitable for restoration is important, and participation in decision making. Because if I'm restoring land for me, means I should be the decision maker, not the state, not the any other people who have money and giving them. So the respect and value of local people is important approach in such a development activities. Thank you, Long.
Thank you for both. In conclusion, the key point is the species should be suitable for the land condition. The species should be suitable for the local needs, especially local people who are really planning, should be accepted by the local people. And it provides faster economic return at better because the local contact, as you mentioned on that. Thank you very much. I think that is all. It is quite important when you select a species on that. We actually still have quite a number of questions here, but I think that I will use several questions here. For example, like the question asking on does the land use conversions program in Chishui affects or influenced by China biodiversity, positive or negative, what happened? And then some other question is like some species of bamboo, for example, like bambusa, balcoa, and bambusas, and brandish seeds. They can also produce quite a high yield and can be able to grow on degraded land as well, etc. So number of questions here, but I think we will own the audience for not answering this time. We can send an email to answer it later. Okay. Thank you very much. And finally, I would like to thank you to all our excellent presenters, Mr. Huang Shiping, Dr. Kausas, Dr. Kiran for your excellent presentation and answer all the questions. We have very good results. I think I'm giving to my colleague Zansia. She will make a final conclusion here.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's
Yanxia, please unmute your microphone. Yanxia, please unmute your microphone.
okay. Thank you very much, Lo. Great thanks to our speakers for their valuable insights and contribution. I think it's a very important topic, especially for achieving the UN decades of the ecosystem restoration. I think the results from this webinar and also particularly the recommendations from this webinar would be the food for the next steps and also for the UN decades for the next 10 years action plan. Finally, I would like to express our thanks to the technical supporting team and also thanks to our participants, and wish you all have a good day and stay healthy. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.
Maybe a question. There are some people asking for the reports and the PPT. I would like to announce that this session is recorded and it will be broadcast on the YouTube channel. And the PPT, we will make them in PDF form and then upload in the INBAR website. You can come there and download it. Thank you.
Long, I have 1 minute. I want to say something.
Okay,
can you give me 1 minute? Yeah, just you know, my new responsibility. I'm the government of Nepal appointed me as a chairperson of President Chishui. This is Siwalik region, very degraded land for restoration and economic development. I am thinking that bamboo is an important species for the restoration and economic benefits. I not exactly here, just like to know that I am thinking to start massive plantation scheme, maybe 10 million bamboo to be planted. It is very dry, comparatively dry region. This is a very young, fragile mountain. Dehradun also the similar, north of Dehradun is like also the things, the landscape is similar, but from east to west, this almost 20% of Nepali land is under such a category. So I would like to invite maybe support for INBAR to plant bamboo for poverty reduction, bamboo for conservation, and the bamboo could be a fastest species that community can get something, and beside their effort in restoration. So in this stage, Nepal is a vice chairperson of the INBAR. I know that my colleague, one of the friend when I working in the government, that time government service, is my friend and now vice chairperson, something like that. This is my political appointment. Like this is a portfolio state minister is a high level position, and thus I'm entitled to talk different agencies, funding agencies in the policy levels to get the funding and implement master plan of Chishui region. That's kind of the fragile land ecosystem area. So India is also what we conserve the Chishui. There's a fragile Shivalik mountains. That important thing is soil conservation. That's certainly control the flood and to India, and water recharge. We are constructing thousands of water recharge ponds there within this fragile small mountain. Then high amounts of water recharge to the ground, and India also can get. So we also thinking to discuss to bring Bangladesh, India, and Nepal in the conservation. In that case, INBAR is a leading technical scientific office with research. I would like to invite your support. Maybe we can talk to officially, maybe something later, but my interest, please share within the INBAR team. sometime we can discuss this issue in more detail. Thank you. Thank you, Long and whole INBAR team and Dr. Rajesh and some other friends.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kieran. Furthermore, I wish you very successful projects. And I think that it also very good that we will have a follow-up meeting on that. It's possible here we have India, Nepal here. Next time we should also invite participants from Bangladesh, so we can form a 3 countries expert team meeting discuss together. And INBAR will also be willing to support on technical aspect, and we will hopefully we could raise a project for the 3 countries there.
Thank you.
I will make a plan for it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I will make a plan for it. If you know someone in Nepal, so we can be also in Bangladesh, so we can bring them in for the discussion.
Okay, thank you. I have a master plan, but I'm going to revise it. And this master plan have envisioned huge amount of money, but the government of Nepal has very just they are providing 10 to 15% of total requirements. So my responsibility to call upon different donor funding agencies and partners to work together within the framework of master plan. No need to give the money directly, but I want to bring them to work in the framework of master plan that focusing the restoration of fragile ecosystem. Thank you, Long. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Karen.
Someone want to have a group photo? Maybe we make a group photo here.
Okay, let's do it and send us.
Let me show. Please put on your screen. Yeah,